A while back, I posted a video giving a tour of my full World War II era boot collection, which included these reproduction World War II Paratrooper boots from SM Wholesale. Now, I mentioned in that video that these reproduction boots often have kind of a plasticky, shiny coating on them when you first get them. And not shiny like when you shine your shoes, it's kind of like an artificial shiny coating. So I've always heard that you can remove that coating with acetone and then put a new layer of polish down and it'll make your boots look much better. I mentioned in that boot collection video that I was going to do this, and some of you had asked how to do that or mentioned that I should do it in a video, so I figured I'd just do that on camera since I'm doing it anyway. My plan here, even though it would be much easier to just go through the process with both boots at the same time, I think I'll do it with one boot all the way through start to finish, and then we can compare that boot to the boot that has the factory finish to see what kind of difference this process makes. You guys are watching this video on my second channel called More War Wisdom. I post all kinds of fun tidbits here that don't make it to my main channel, so if you're not already subscribed here, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now so you don't miss out on future videos like this. Step one here is just to remove the laces and clean some of the dirt off these boots. I'll do that to both boots now because it'll be nice to have a clean boot for comparison purposes. One down. Oh, I forgot I broke this boot lace the last time I wore them. Well, that's a good reminder to order a new set of boot laces. All right, let's get these cleaned up a little bit. Nothing fancy for this part. I'm just gonna hit them with a stiff bristle brush here to get some of the dirt off, and then I'll wipe them down with a damp rag. I think I brushed most of the dirt off there, but I'll get some water and spill it all over the table. This should clean up the remaining specks of dirt. All right, now we've got some nice clean boots. I'm gonna give these a second to dry off and then we can start trying to remove this coating from the leather. I'll set this left boot aside for now and we can just start with this right one and then I'll keep the left boot as it is now. We can use that for comparison. Let me just get something to pry this acetone container open. Just pour a bit in there for now to get started and grab a rag and hope this works. I should probably be using like gloves for this or something, but I'll be all right. Definitely getting some of that coating off. Oh no, that's not good. Little pro tip here for you guys. Go ahead and close the acetone container once you're done pouring it out. Can't believe I did that. All right, I think we're good as long as nobody lights a match in here. I think we're starting to get somewhere here. Okay, so I am just taking a little bit of acetone at a time and really going at the finish on here with this rag. It's tough to get this finish off, but it is coming. The acetone will kind of take the paint off of the eyelets here. If that's something that's important to you, then just keep that in mind, I guess. I'm definitely seeing the difference now, especially when I hold it up to the boot here that I haven't started on yet. I think I still need a little more acetone on a few places here, and then I think we'll be ready to move on to applying some polish. I had noticed with that plasticky finish that when I tried to polish my boots, the polish would just kind of rub right off. That coating meant that it couldn't really soak into the leather, so I'm hoping that now that I remove that finish, I'll really be able to get a good shine on these. I could probably sit here with this bottle of acetone all day and keep getting little tiny bits of finish off, but I think I got the vast majority of it, and you can see my rag here is thoroughly covered. Maybe some of that is old polish buildup, but I really don't think it is. I think most of it is that brown painted kind of plasticky finish that was on here. So let's get a nice side by side now between this and the boot that I haven't started on to kind of check in and see how we're doing. The difference isn't quite as pronounced as I thought it might be, but you can definitely see on this boot that I haven't started on yet, the color is much darker and it's also shinier and has that plasticky look. While the boot that I have just removed the finish from, the surface looks a lot more dull and matte, and hopefully that means it'll take the polish really nicely when I start polishing polishing it up. Okay, well, I just looked at those close-up shots and realized that on camera, the boots look pretty much identical, but trust me, in person here, I can definitely tell the difference. So why don't I get started on putting some polish on here, and hopefully that difference will only get more pronounced as we keep moving through this process. I was debating what color polish to use on these boots. I've heard people say just use brown. I've heard people say to use Cordovan, which is like a kind of reddish brown. I've heard people say to put a coat of brown and then use a coat of black. So I think what I'll do is put a coat of brown to start and then put a coat of Cordovan on top of that. And hopefully that'll give us kind of the look that we're going for here. I'll just apply this shoe polish with a rag. I know some people like to use this little brush. I find that a rag is often easier. Get a nice healthy glob of shoe polish, and I'm just gonna start going at it here. Just trying to really get this worked into the leather. And since we just stripped the leather and this is the first coat, I'm using much more polish than I typically would. Just using the brush to really shine it up here and get that polish evenly distributed. Now, I'm not gonna go crazy and try to get a like mirrored finish on the toe here or anything. I'm just trying to get these polished up and looking presentable. I just brought the comparison boot up so I could see here, and I'm definitely noticing a difference. I don't know how apparent that will be on camera, but I'll at least hold it up for you. I know I said after I stripped that coating, the boots were kind of dull and lost that shininess. Now that I've polished them, they're shiny again, but it's kind of a different type of shininess than this plasticky coating. They feel a lot different to the touch as well. Okay, now that I got that brown in there, I think I'm gonna hit it again with Cordovan polish, and hopefully that will really make these boots pop. If I have some. I think I do. Come on. What happened to my Cordovan polish? I swear I had some. Okay, scratch that. I do not have any Cordovan polish, so I guess I will be doing a coat of black on here, and hopefully that gives us the look that we're going for. I've never tried this, but I've always heard that using a coat of black polish on brown boots can really kind of make the brown pop and give it a little more texture and depth. So we'll see if that's the case. Now I'm doing these coats back to back. I think ideally you would just maybe use brown the first few times and then use black one of the times you polish them in the future. And kind of let the polish wear off a bit in between. But for the video, I want to be able to show you guys the final product here, and hopefully this ties it all together. All right, all done here, and that black polish definitely gave these boots a unique look. Now they have a great shine on them. It looks like shiny leather and not plastic, which is good. I really like how the dark polish kind of sunk in around all the seams and all the stitching in the boot and on my arm as well, apparently. Okay, let's get a comparison now between our boot that we've stripped the finish from and applied the polish to, and our completely unfinished boot here that has been used a few times but still has the factory finish for the most part. Wow, I am glad I trusted the process here because the difference really is night and day. If you couldn't tell, the one on the right here is the one that's been polished. Ooh, and the one on the left here has that kind of plastic factory coating. It'd be easy to say like, oh, well, you put shoe polish on one and it made it shiny, big surprise. But as I mentioned, I've attempted to shine these boots many times in the past, and the polish has never stuck quite like this. I've never been able to get a nice polished leather shine. It always ended up kind of looking more like this artificial painted leather that we have here. Looks like maybe I could rub in some of that black polish a little bit more, but other than that, I think these look great. Hopefully you can see the difference on the toe there as well. The black polish really gave it an interesting texture. I'm curious to see how they'll look after I continue putting brown polish on top of that black coating. I think that'll give the boots a really nice look. Well, that about does it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed seeing the transformation of these boots that look like something you could find on the shelf at Walmart to these ones that look like something that really could have been worn by a paratrooper in Normandy. I'll finish up this other leather boot on my own time. I won't make you guys sit through that. I also need to go ahead and order some new boot laces since I snapped one of mine on a hike recently. But with that said, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Remember, you're watching this video on my second channel, More War Wisdom. So if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and take care of that now. And I'll see you all in the next one.